I have with me the Peak Design Roller Pro carry-on, and I'm super excited to share with you all the features, some of the pros and cons you can expect, how to pack it, some comparisons, some special features for photographers, and so much more. So this is going to be a long video. I will leave some chapters. You can hop around if you're interested. Let's get right into it. The Roller Pro carry-on from Peak Design is a great addition to the line of backpacks and overall travel gear, because you have backpacks that you carry on your back, you have duffel bags, you have packing cubes and various tech cases, but now you have something on wheels, which is great if you have a lot of gear that's very heavy. I will be leaving links below in the description for where you can get the Roller Pro. I'm also going to leave a bunch of links in the description for everything else that I mentioned throughout the rest of the video. Let's jump right into the features. The main handle that you grab, so like the extending rolling handle, is made out of carbon fiber, so it's very strong, and it's also very slim and low profile. The low profileness of it is great for optimizing the space in the main capacity, and you'll see what that looks like and why it's useful when I open the bag a little bit later. One benefit of the luggage handle being carbon fiber is that if your backpack or really whatever else you're putting on the luggage pass-through is on the heavier side, you don't have to worry about like instability or that portion of the rolling carry-on breaking. There are tons of gear loop attachments on the outside of the bag. Like there's a lot of them. They are really useful for attaching things like umbrellas or shoes or water bottles, really anything that you can attach. If you want to clip them in or tie with any type of string or something, you can fit on that specific spot of the bag. The top grab handle is really nice and it feels great in your hand. It has this like nice padded, but also like durable feeling to it. It's great to be able to pick it up with not it pinching your hand, which is something that I appreciate if I have a lot of weight in the bag. Speaking of grab handles, they are everywhere. There's a grab handle on the left and the right, and there's also a grab handle on the bottom. The grab handles on the left and the right also are pretty cushiony. The grab handle on the bottom is not so cushiony. It's more of like a hard, plasticky type of rigid feeling. You might not use this too much, but it is useful if you're kind of like picking up the bag horizontally. It's nice to have kind of two features, but the bottom grab handle isn't as soft as the other ones. Peak Design does give you a luggage tag, which is nice if you don't have one. If you have any luggage tags that you are accustomed to and like, you are more than welcome to attach them to all the gear loop attachments that exist on the bag. The wheels on the bottom are pretty good. They are right in the middle. They're not so big, they're not so small. They're pretty much a good solid medium. If you're looking for a specific size, they are 60 millimeters. The wheels swivel very nicely, which I really appreciate because they don't catch, and it's a really nice and smooth feeling. The wheels themselves are split into two independent halves. They both rotate independently, which is great to be able to maneuver tight corners. Before we open the bag, I want to talk about the zippers, since that's an important feature of a bag. You need to open it and close it, and bad zippers are the worst. The Peak Design zippers are one of the better parts of backpacks and now carry-on rolling suitcases that I think I've seen. The outside has a nice like weather resistant coating on the top of it, which is good if you take the bag and it's like raining outside or whatever. Nothing inside is going to get super soaked, but the zippers themselves are very high quality. I've had the travel backpack from Peak Design for a long time, I think since 2019, maybe even 2018, the end of it, whenever the Kickstarter was for that backpack. And I've taken it on international trips, day trips, weekend trips, like a lot. I've used it a ton of times, and the zippers have held up. They look kind of brand new. So I think having the similar zippers on the Roller Pro, I think you'll be able to get a ton of life out of the zippers. There are two main zippers. The outermost zipper controls opening of the actual Roller Pro, which is something you might want to do if you want to pack it. The central zipper controls the expansion. When you open the expansion, you'll see that there's thin fabric, and that helps, expand the Roller Pro and give you more capacity if you need it. The front access panel is where you're going to find the access to your laptop, and the sleeve that it goes into closes with magnets. You have two additional front storage pouches that you can put various things in there. And then you have a center main console area that isn't very big, but it is good for things like a phone, notebook, like whatever you have that's floating around in your pockets you can put in the bag. And then lastly, there is a spot for your keys. So if you need a place to store them while you want to clear out your pockets, there it is. All right, so that's a lot on the outside. Let's go right on the inside now. Once you open the Roller Pro, you'll notice that there's a couple of cords that might be confusing at first. So the first set of cords on the left and the right are to actually keep the front like panel open, which is super unique and not something I've seen. Other bags, like at least the travel bag from Peak Design, you open it and it kind of like flops forward. It is very nice to have these like drawbridge style cords, especially because your laptop is in the back. With the travel backpack, I've noticed that like you have to be aware that your laptop is in the back, because when you do open the bag, if you swing it open, your laptop is right there. But with this like drawbridge style cord mechanism, your laptop's in there, you swing the bag open, it's good. It's not going anywhere.
One thing I did notice about the drawbridge cord design is that if there's a lot of weight in the back of the bag, like if you have your laptop in the back and you open it, it does put like a lot of weight on tension on the drawbridge. That's by the design. So that's doing its job. It's keeping the back of the bag up. But I did notice that as you close the bag, sometimes the cords actually will like spread out and it kind of gets in the way as you zipper. However, you can make an adjustment to make this better. So if you look on the back where that like whole mechanism is, those clips actually should be facing inwards, and then the knot can be adjusted. After you make a little bit of a fine-tune adjustment, you should be good. The cord hook system can be used to keep all your packing cubes or loose items in place, and you could create zones if you wanted to put one layer of packing cubes and one layer for everything else. But you could also pack everything and then really secure them with the cord system also if you want to do that.
If you look up into the main panel, you'll see that there is a couple areas for storage. So there are 3 zipper compartments. If you don't want to utilize that and you want to really maximize the amount of capacity, you can actually unzip and then roll down and then secure it to the general cord system that exists. And then you have a little bit of extra storage. If you kind of like sneak up, there's a couple things in here. There is a little tiny pocket on the very back. So if you're looking to really like hide something away in your bag in a place that maybe nobody will find it, you can use that access panel and that pocket for like that situation. Or if you want to sneak an AirTag in your bag, there is a dedicated slot for an AirTag in that back access panel once you unzip everything. Like packing any suitcase, any rolling suitcase, any travel bag in general, a lot of people are going to have opinions of whether or not you should roll things, if you should put things in packing cubes, if you should stuff everything in. For me, I love packing cubes, and I'm gonna use that to demonstrate all the different like options for capacity and what you can expect in terms of everything you can fit inside. Peak Design does make packing cubes that you can use to keep yourself organized. So there's the small packing cube that I have here and the medium packing cube too. But really you can use whatever packing cubes you want. And sometimes I found that like mixing and matching various different sizes for different things is super useful. I'm not going to spend so much time on packing, but if you do want to see more videos about packing in general or how to pack this bag in different configurations, feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll make sure to make those videos. The Roller Pro is international carry-on approved, and in terms of size, it is 21.8 by 14 by 9, and it is 8.8 pounds. If you are traveling somewhere, make sure to confirm with your airline the specific sizes that they require for carry-ons. I have never had an issue with someone rejecting my bag for being too big, but I know that it can happen. So make sure to double check before you go somewhere to see that this bag size fits with their policy. I do have the Peak Design travel backpack for comparison, and the first impressions that I had when I took the Roller Pro out of the box was like, oh wow, this is a travel backpack on wheels. But once I kind of like looked at the bag, looked at it closer, unzipped it, saw all the new features, they are very different. But I will tell you some of the differences between the travel backpack and the Roller Pro if you are interested.
The travel backpack and the Roller Pro are similar, but both different in their respective strengths and weaknesses. For the travel backpack, it's optimized to be a backpack, which is good if you want to carry it. So it's lighter, it has backpack straps, doesn't have wheels, you could fit a good amount of volume inside. The Roller Pro is optimized for being a rolling suitcase. So it has high quality, durable wheels, it has a luggage handle, and it has a frame, which is something you might want in a rolling suitcase. From the outside, they're both made of similar material, and then the zippers are good all the way around. The travel backpack has more storage, like throughout the bag, plus it has like side access panels, and there's a lot of other features that are really good if you're having a backpack on your back and want to access certain things, versus the Roller Pro is really optimized for carrying what you have and sort of being the place to tote your things around.
If you're curious on how the Roller Pro from Peak Design stacks up to other brands like Away, Here is a like side-by-side comparison of what you can expect with the Roller Pro and how it looks right next to the Away suitcase.
The Roller Pro versus the Away suitcase is almost like pros and cons of either, but I'll do my best to sort of explain some of the features. First, starting with the luggage handle, the Away's luggage handle is like very like not stable, and the luggage handle on the Roller Pro is extremely sturdy. Plus, it's like one solid piece. I'm not sure if I mentioned that before. So it's really not gonna break because it's really one piece that slides up and down, versus the Aways, which is like telescoping, and it has a lot of room for error. And then for some of the pros and cons, I mentioned the zippers a ton, but if you look at the zippers of the Away bag, there's really no waterproofing, and the zippers aren't really as high quality. I found that you might be able to like poke through the Away zippers. Like there's a thin fabric that really protect your bag from busting open. I think you can use like luggage straps to keep your suitcase like secure, but I mean, you shouldn't have to do that. And I think I would probably worry about my bag breaking open if I'm especially checking it. So, keep that in mind that the zippers really are a big deal, and the zippers are far more superior in the Roller Pro than the Away suitcase. You will notice that the wheels are much bigger in the Roller Pro, even though I sort of thought they were on the small side to begin with. I mean, they are medium, but if you compare them between the Away wheels and the Roller Pro wheels, the wheels are actually much bigger and look much sturdier on the Roller Pro. One of the biggest things is the actual footprint of when you like unfold the clamshell, the horizontal clamshell of the Away bag. It takes up a ton of space versus with the Peak Design bag. When you open it up, it like unfolds like vertically, so everything kind of stacks, which is really good for packing, but it's also great if you are in a limited space. Like if you are in a hotel or you're packing on a really small confined area, maybe a cruise ship somewhere else, and you unzip the bag to try to get your stuff in or try to get some stuff out, you need a lot more space to open up the Away bag to get access to all your things versus on the Roller Pro. Unzip and everything's sort of like right there. It's much easier to access things.
If you are a photographer or a videographer, this section is for you because now I'm going to talk about all the features that are really specific to content creators that have cameras. In the beginning of this video, I did mention an exciting new update for photographers and videographers, and that is the extra large camera cube. The extra large camera cube fits basically the entire capacity of the Roller Pro itself, so this is kind of all you get. When this is in the bag, you can't really fit anything else. This dimension up here, so like top to bottom, is big enough where it can fit a 400mm prime. I don't have one, so I can't show you what that looks like. The longest lens I have is the 85mm from Sony. It's the E-mount lens, and it fits perfectly inside of any one of these organization pockets. And what's really nice is if you have the Peak Design Everyday Backpack with their integrated cube organization system, these things actually fold down. And this gives you a shelf for a smaller lens, like maybe a 24 or a 35 or even a 50mm lens. So like each of these storage bays can actually accommodate 2 lenses if you have a mirrorless system. So you can see it's fully packed with all my camera gear, but I don't really have a ton. So what you can do is you can like move around all the organization, and you can put other things like your text storage or like any other photography equipment you have. You don't have to use this for lens and bodies. You can really like customize this specific to what you have. The combination of the extra large camera cube with the Roller Pro is great if you need to haul a lot of gear around. So if you're filling the extra large camera cube with cameras and lenses or lights or something else, it's going to get very heavy. In addition to have your Roller Pro on wheels with the like luggage carry, and especially if you want to put a secondary backpack with like other laptops or other like things that you might need for your specific day, shooting activity, video activity, whatever. I think like both of those things are really good to be able to optimize the weight and not carry so much with like the duffel or the travel backpack or the everyday backpack. It's really nice to be able to have something on wheels. So great addition by Peak Design to kind of have that optimized for photographers.
If you don't want to use the extra large camera cube, if you look on the bag, there are like dedicated spots that you can use C-clips and attach smaller camera cubes to. Those C-clips will like work with your smaller camera cube to keep them like stuck in a specific spot in your bag. And then you can like put packing cubes or put tech cases or put other things around it. And then you're going to be keeping that like dedicated area in your bag for that specific camera cube. They're all around the bag, so you can kind of create a lot of different configurations if you're interested in that. Another interesting thing that you can use the Roller Pro for is a workstation for wherever you are. So if you're shooting on location, or if you have a spot where you can kind of like prop your bag up, like a table or a chair, you can use the Roller Pro as like a place where you can grab and stash away your gear. So this is perfect if you want quick access and to be able to change your lenses or really have quick access to your things. It's really easy. All you do is you keep your camera cube in there. You can actually take the flap of the extra large camera cube and kind of like wrap it below the camera cube itself. So then when you close your Roller Pro, that becomes your like main area for camera cubes and for work. And then what you can do is you can like pick and choose and grab and go, and you can create a lot of configurations for your bags. Another interesting thing is you can have multiple camera cubes for multiple things. So if you're shooting landscapes and you have a specific setup for landscapes, but then the next weekend you're shooting weddings and the next weekend you're shooting something else, like product photography, you can have camera cubes dedicated for that specific like area of focus if you have different bodies and lenses that fit that configuration. And then you can kind of, plop them into your Roller Pro and then again, prop it up where you are on a table or out on the location and sort of like easily use that as your workstation. The extra large camera cube does fit in the travel backpack. You do have to expand the travel backpack, but if you are only interested in the extra large camera cube, or if you want to carry on your bag with the travel backpack and you have the extra large camera cube, they will integrate together.
I'm curious. Let me know in the comments if you are a content creator, what you would use this bag for.
Your existing camera cubes from Peak Design, whatever fits in that like 3 units. So for me, I have the small camera cube and the medium camera cube. They both will fit in the Roller Pro, the same as you would expect them to fit in other bags that accommodate that system of 3. So I have the travel backpack and they fit the small and the medium pretty well. The Roller Pro also fits those with a little bit more space to spare.
We've gone through a ton of features at this point, and now I want to shift gears and talk about some of the pros and some of the cons. The first pro, and something that's unique to this Roller Pro that I haven't seen before, is the cord hooks. I think this is a great way to really lock your like packing cubes or really anything else on that main level, so that you can optimize that storage on that section, or you can like load it up and configure it in a different way if that works for you. Plus, if you didn't like the cord system, you can actually take it out, I think. I'm not going to do it, but if you untie this section here, you can kind of see how it can unthread with all the different loops. So it's possible to take it out. For me, I'm going to keep it in. The grab handles on every corner, like every part of the bag, I think is a huge pro, because if you've ever had to pick up a bag out of a trunk or lift it from the ground in some way, sometimes you have to like move and shimmy the bag around. I think having grab handles everywhere is a huge pro in accessibility in carrying and moving it around.
Something to know is that this bag is very durable. I know from experience and seeing some of the behind the scenes that the bag went through a lot more testing than most standard suitcases go through.
I do really like how the wheels are split into those 2 sections so they independently rotate. I think this is going to be a huge win for like maneuverability in general if you're trying to round a tight corner. I don't know if you've ever had a rolling suitcase where you like move it forward, it gets like stuck, you have to move it back in order to round a corner or move it into some spot. I think having it where it's really like things swivel nicely and each independent side of the wheel spins, I think is like a huge pro in making it easy to move around on the ground. It is nice to have the front access panel because not all rolling suitcases allow you to put things on the outside of the bag. So for putting things like passports if you're traveling, or like a phone, charging cables, and power bricks, I think it's great to be able to have those things on the exterior of the bag. The low profile handle is a pro in my mind because not having it be like a round cylinder like you see in most rolling suitcases really allows you to optimize the main capacity because it doesn't fill up the entire section. So if you look at some other rolling suitcases, you lose a ton of space because of the handles being so thick, but you really get the maximum amount of storage because the carbon fiber, like a rolling handle carry, I don't know what that's called, but that really allows you to maximize the storage in the best way possible. The last pro that I'll talk about is the weatherproof exterior, and I only know from experience from my travel backpack with being out in the rain waiting for a bus, and the Roller Pro is made out of a very similar material with like similar style and quality of zippers. When I was getting rained on wearing my travel backpack, nothing got wet, so that was a great pro, and I imagine that if you are out in the elements with your Roller Pro, you'll have a very similar experience.
For the cons, I didn't really find anything that stood out as like, this is wrong with the bag. I think the cons are going to be more related to expectations. For example, maybe you were really expecting 2 wheels and you like that for a roller suitcase, other than the 4 wheels that come with the bag. Maybe something like compression. The bag itself acts as the compression. There's no compression like straps integrated on the inside that you might see on other type of rolling suitcases. So for me, this met all my expectations, but for you, kind of evaluate the features that I've outlined in the previous sections of the video to sort of see if those meet or don't meet your expectations. I know this is a con, but I don't really have anything specific that stands out. One thing that's really interesting that I actually didn't know before is if you have any rolling suitcase, most of the parts are like passed around. So from, one bag to another, they could vary in price between like hundreds of dollars, but the actual cost of the things that go into the bag are all fixed. So the like telescoping, luggage carry thing, and the actual like shell and material of the like outside of the outer shell, and some of the zippers in the part, like they all come from the same kind of like manufacturer. So depending on the price, it really is branding and a lot of other features like organization and like style of configurations of things that go inside. But with the Peak Design Roller Pro, they're all custom. So everything from the grab handles to the like material to how everything fits inside, like every single component was very thoughtfully designed, even to as small of a detail as the key ring. That was also custom and went through several iterations of design. So when you're getting this bag, you're really getting something that's truly unique, which is super cool.
Thanks for sticking around and watching this very long, very detailed review of the Peak Design Roller Pro carry-on. If you have any questions about any of the features or something that I missed, please leave them in the comment section below. Lastly, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.